Hello, I'm Tillman and welcome to the anniversary show where I celebrate an album that was released 10, 20, or 30 years ago. Today we're talking about Watermelon Chicken and Grits from Nappy Roots. And while I have your attention, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell and leave a comment. Don't forget to check out my other shows, Never Heard It, where I talk about classic albums that I never got around to listening to, and It's Been a While, where I talk about albums I loved as a kid, but for whatever reason I stopped listening to. All right, back to Watermelon Chicken and Grits. Watermelon Chicken and Grits was released in February 26, 2002, so if you're watching this in 2022, it is 20 years old. February 2000 also saw the release of Full Moon by Brandy and Come Away With Me by Norah Jones. In 1992, Fushniggins, F You Take It Personally, KRS-One, Sex and Violence, and TLC, Ooh on the TLC Tip were all released on the same day. And in 1982, Sir Mix-a-Lot gave us Mac Daddy. That's right, Baby Got Back is 40 years old. This was the debut album of the sextet consisting of Skinny DeVille, B Still, Ron Clutch, Fish Scales, R Prophet, and Big V. They actually released an album in 1998, but it was shelved. If you've been keeping up, you know that they are now a quartet now that R Prophet and Big V have gone solo. When Nappy Roots first started out, there were actually 8 members, but eventually 2 left. And after studying other artists like No Limit, Cash Money, and Wu-Tang, the guys decided from the beginning that instead of splitting up the money that they got from the record label, they would put their money back into Nappy Roots. That's how they built their own studio, started their own record store, and weathered any financial storms that might come their way in case their debut didn't sell. There's a great interview on 247hiphop.com with Skinny DeVille and Fish Scales that goes more in depth into their story if you're interested. I'll put the link in the description. So let's talk about Watermelon Chicken and Grits. This album comes out the gate swinging with Hustler, a song that details how hard it was for them to get to where they are. What I love about the majority of the songs on this album, this one included, is that practically every member contributes to every song and it never feels overcrowded. Whether it's the nimble style of Skinny DeVille, the gruff spoken word of Big V, the sing-songy voice of Prophet, or the 3-man weave of B Still, Ron Clutch, and Fish Scales, it all works. This album is mostly produced by Groove Chambers, who feels like the 7th member. And I'll be honest, at an hour and 15 minutes, this album is a little longer than it needs to be, but it never sounds boring. And a lot of that has to do with the producer. Groove Chambers always sounds unique, but never so weird that he forgets to be catchy. And the song Set It Out is a perfect example of that. I think he's using a harpsichord with DJ scratches with smooth R&B backing vocals. In the words of Andre 3000, it all blends perfectly. Let the liquor tell it. All In All was released in December of 2001 as the lead single. When Nappy Roots were first starting out, their mission was to go to Atlanta and work with Jazzy Faye. After half a dozen failed attempts at working with him, their A&R Mike Karen introduced them to Groove Chambers, who would go on to produce All In All and most of the album. The original version of All In All actually has Groove Chambers singing the hook, but after the song was done, Mike Karen somehow got in touch with Jazzy Faye, and to this day, this is their second biggest single. Their biggest single is the Anthony Hamilton-assisted Po Folks. Once again, their A&R Mike Karen was the MVP. He put Anthony Hamilton on the song without the group knowing, and the guys were not happy about it. They met Hamilton for the first time at the video shoot, and they got along well enough to sweeten any sour feelings that they had towards the decision. And now it's their biggest single. One of the handful of songs that was not produced by Groove is the song Show Liz, which was produced by Mike City. And it's kind of hard to believe if you know who Mike City is. He's best known for producing R&B singles like I Wish for Carl Thomas, Full Moon by Brandy, and One Woman Man by David Hollister. The fact that this song doesn't sound the least bit R&B isn't what makes it hard to believe. It's that it sounds like if the Cantina Band from Star Wars were asked to play at a hoedown, but in a good way. As much as I like the laid-back tracks like Po Folks, my favorite tracks tend to be the ones that are a little more aggressive, like Country Boy, Slums, and Life's a Bitch. The latter being produced by 6 July the Hitman, which is why it comes equipped with the dramatic string section. There's also the song 140 that is literally 140 beats per minute. If you don't know what that means, the average BPM of a rap song is somewhere between 95 and 100, so 140 is pretty fast. So happy anniversary to Watermelon Chicken and Grits. This was a great album from a group that deserves more recognition. See you next time where I talk about Nerd in Search Of. This is Tillman, the only guy on the internet that doesn't know everything. Peace.